Welcome to Podtroidvania, a monthly podcast about the games that inspire us, the games we love, and the games that have shaped us and the people that we are. I am Jeff Troidvania. Today I am joined by IsItTheSh0es, one of my best friends for literal decades. How you doing, Shoes?
I'm doing pretty good, actually.
I wanted to have you on today because of just all the great stuff that Capcom's been releasing. I know the past week and a half we've been talking about just how awesome Capcom actually is, and it feels really strange that they kind of go under the radar a little bit. There's a huge amount of time where people just kind of forget about them, but then they show up and they release Resident Evil 9, and they have new Mega Man, and they got this Monster Hunter game that they've been fixing, and it's really crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's so funny that suddenly we've been talking so much about Monster Hunter lately. I think we've been playing it a lot.
Yeah.
At the same time, Resident Evil just came out, but Pragmatic comes out next month, which is their next big IP. It's crazy that they just all of a sudden have come out swinging. And like I said, it's we won't hear about them for months. They'll just start dropping stuff, and it's always good. Lately, it's always been so good.
I was watching bits and pieces of that event. The trailer for Onimusha looked really good. Mm-hmm. I know they haven't released a date yet, but it's still going to be this year. I made the joke. I'm Capcom's just going to come in and dump a bunch of awesome games, and everyone else is going to be scrambling to figure it out for the rest of the year. But yeah, Onimusha is one of those series where I loved the entire series, but it's just that it's been a long time since we've had anything new in it. I can't even remember what was the last one. It wasn't a numbered one. There was 1, 2, 3, and then a really weird one that was a completely different game. It was it was almost like a roguelike in a sense where the stuff that you picked up and the monsters you fought where you go through each level and it was different every time, which wasn't normal for then.
No, because Onimusha's it used to be Resident Evil with swords. That's what the vibe was. And then suddenly they drop a game that's not anything like that at all. Yeah,
but this looks like it's gonna be kind of a return to form. I love the character. He seems kind of snarky, kind of sarcastic, kind of, there's going to be some one-liners, kind of like Dante style. I think it's going to be really good. And then you got Resident Evil 9, which is surprising. People are calling it their favorite Resident Evil so quickly.
Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people. And I'm a longtime fan of the franchise, and I haven't beaten it yet. I'm kind of trying to pace myself because I actually beat 8 in one sitting, and it made me kind of miserable doing it.
Yeah,
it was a lot. It was 18 hours or something. So I'm pacing myself, but the vibe in this one, I think they know how to make horror games. They've been doing it for so long, and they figured out how to balance the horror part with the action part. The Leon and the Grace sections couldn't be more different, and they're both fun and engaging in their own way. And I love that.
Yeah, I forget who it was online, but someone was talking about how the seamless switch between first person and third person for both characters, you could play first person as Grace and get that Resident Evil 7 and 8 feel, and then you could play third person as Leon and get the Resident Evil 4 feel, but then you could switch it up. And you could play third person and then first person, and it almost feels like it's a completely different experience because of that.
Yeah, they gave you the option in the beginning to lock perspective or to change it on your own. And I went with a default because they obviously had an intention with playing Grace in first person because it was a little more horror focused, and it wanted you to be more in it and see it from that perspective. So I left it that way, and I'm happy I did because it really does add something to being chased by a monster and you can't see around corners. We were third person, you could swing the camera, and it's just I can't sing its praise enough. It's probably going to be my favorite Resident Evil list. They really don't stick to landing, which I don't see them messing this up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who have beaten it 3 or 4 times already. They're powering through multiple speed runs and stuff. It seems like it's very well received. Something that I found really awesome was that it performs really well. They found a way, like the Resident Evil RE engine has, like, I suppose has always been good at scaling, but like I don't know what they've done to it, but the fact that it runs a solid 30 frames per second on Switch 2 is
amazing.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what they'd had to do. Some people are saying that it's a lot of upscaling, but like, yeah, I mean, you can't really tell when you're playing, right? So it's it doesn't matter at that point.
I would never have like noticed there was any kind of upscaling. Like my big concern when it especially towards the closer to the release is that I was like, oh, it's going to end up being really, really janky because of how bad Monster Hunter was when it came out. Because Monster Hunter Wilds when it released was a mess. Like, I think it was months before it was like playable for some people. So I thought being on the same engine Resident Evil was going to be the same way, and instead it launched. I don't know anyone who's had performance problems with it.
That's crazy. I remember for Wild, especially the open beta. I installed it on my Steam Deck, like just as a joke, because I don't think it'll play on this. And oh my god, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like I thought, like maybe I would at least get into some gameplay, and it would just be a slideshow, and I'd be okay. This isn't gonna play. Like it wouldn't load the background to the menus. Like when you're going between menu items, there's a kind of a little like a shimmer kind of thing that like follows along. Like that barely worked. The frame rate would literally drop every time I would move a menu item. It would dump to like 4 frames a second. Like it would in the menu. And then I got like maybe I think I got my way through creating a character, but it wouldn't load the game. When you first start it, it does that like what is it, like calculating the shaders thing or whatever, and that bar that goes across. It took 45 minutes on open beta on the Steam Deck to go through.
It took a long time when it first came on PC. Like, I still have the image. It's like the splash art of Arkveld, right? Next to the wall. I can still see it in my head. It took so long, and then there's people playing it, and they had the graphics turned down so low that like Ray Dow was like a flying yellow blob.
Yeah, Shadowcabra was like it was like it was a spheroid. Like it wasn't like it was spheroid with triangle legs. Like it wasn't even like, man,
incredible.
But yeah, like it was very rough at first. Even on the Xbox, it like took a couple minutes for that to process all the shaders and all that stuff first before you can jump in. But now, man, on the Steam Deck, if I have to reload it for any reason, if there's like an update or anything, it takes maybe a minute to do all the processing. And it may look like a PS3 game at times. And when you go, if you're like fighting Ray Dow and he flies out into like kind of the open area in the plains, some of the animations are very, very low res, like very low frame rate. Like his tail will be moving and it'll be like pop, 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 pop. Like it's real bad, but like it doesn't. The game, it's still oddly playable. It's just so weird, but yeah, it's been really good. And I think they've done a really good job, and like, they've taken that into Resident Evil, and I think the biggest issue with that engine though is that it doesn't do well in those big areas. In Resident Evil, it's locked into these hallways, so it's like they've figured out what the engine can do best, and they stuck to that. And I just remember when people were talking about Resident Evil 9, they're like, oh, it's supposed to be open world. And then I think we had that conversation where it's like, oh my god, open world, and then Monster Hunter, we're like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But Resident Evil would never really work as an open world game, I don't think.
No. I don't know that. Oh, I want open world horror games because I think it'd be cool. But like every time I think about it, I'm like, how do you make that without making it like a zombie game? Like it'd have to be like, and I don't really love the zombie genre, but so shockingly I love Resident Evil, but it's more because Resident Evil is more than that, really.
True.
And like Resident Evil, the whole tension is is the enclosed spaces and then the ammo scarcity. And I think open world, like, you'd become a collectathon, like, and you'd be. I just don't know that it would work for Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's the thing about open world games. I think we just got. Like, I mean, for me personally, got burned out from all these open world games. Like, it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I played for like 70 hours, and I collected all the stuff. And then the DLC came out, and I started playing the DLC, and it was like, I wasn't as big of a map, but it was like half the size of a map with the same amount of stuff in it. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it. There's just too much stuff. And it just kind of like waters down the rest of it. But
yeah, I think we liked the same games for the most part, especially back in the day. Like, we were both big on Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know that I can tell you right now I couldn't play one now. I tried the Oblivion remaster. I've tried to play Skyrim again. I've tried to play New Vegas. I've tried to play Fallout 4, and every one of them I get maybe 5 hours in. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like, it's way too much.
I forget. I don't remember if it was Fallout 4 or New Vegas. I played one of them recently. I think I probably played both of them recently. But it comes to a point where, like, I hit a wall almost where I go, okay. And then I just, like, turn the game off and I just don't go back to it. Because I'm just like, I know how much is left. And I know how much, like, you get really into it and, like, you could spend way too much time in it. When I was a kid, like, when we were younger, we didn't have, soul draining jobs.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I don't have the time.
Yeah, I don't have the patience anymore. I think that's slowly left me over time. Like, as I get older, I don't have the patience for that stuff. I find myself really enjoying games that take 10 to 12 hours, maybe 30 at most, and those are the best.
Unless it's like an online multiplayer game, I just can't, because I can't put that much time into a game. Even Resident Evil, I think it's like between like 10 and 12 hours. I'm like, do I want to play this whole game? Do I, it's,
yeah.
Luckily it's really good, so I'm like engaged with it. But like, I don't know. My patience for games has just. And I think it is like the Assassin's Creedification. I don't know if I like how, because like when I think of that kind of like open world game where it's just collect, and like I want to collect everything. And I remember it actually, I had to like force myself to not 100% Spider-Man, because I did not want to do the Taskmaster stuff. That shit was so hard.
Yeah, same.
I was like, I'm not going to do this because it's not fun, and I don't need the extra thing it's going to give me.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man did that in a good way. They gave you all the extra stuff to do, but you could do some of it and still get enough like extra like power, or like a lot of it was like skins and stuff. So it wasn't really like you had to do a lot of side content to actually like progress, which is nice. But yeah, I feel like there's some games out there where it's like, man, if you don't do all the side stuff, like you go to the end and you're like, you haven't been playing enough of it to progress enough to fight the last boss or whatever. Yeah,
and that's the thing too, is I want to be so strong. Like I want to, so I want to collect all the things that make me so strong, but I can't. It's just not in me anymore. And like I said, there's games I love. Like that Spider-Man was great. Ghost of Tsushima was another one. I haven't beaten that yet.
Me neither.
I would say it's probably one of the best games I've ever played. And I'm like, I don't want to find all these crickets. Like,
yeah.
I'm just not in the mood. Like,
I went hard in the very beginning on doing all the side stuff, to the point where like, it's like you probably experienced this in like Grand Theft Auto game. There gets to a point where you have like that one mission that you can do next, and that's the only one you have left. That like until you have to do that one mission, then it opens up the rest to like that. It gives you more. Yeah. It was like that where I was like, oh man, all right, I got to go storm that castle or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, I'll do it, and I do it, and then it's like, all right, you've unlocked the larger portion of the island. I'm like, oh my Christ. No.
Please, there's too much freedom. It's too
much. Well, like there's a next section of the game is twice as big, has twice as many things. It's like, man, it's like, you bought the whole seat, but you only need the edge. I'm like, I don't even want the seat anymore.
I don't want the seat anymore. Yeah, I mean, my PlayStation is just a machine for playing Ghost of Tsushima right now. And it's sitting here. I don't think the controller's even charged. Like, I could play it and finish at any time. I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
So it's not a thing about the quality of the game, because like some of these games are great. It's that I do not have the patience for them anymore.
Yeah, that is very true. I feel like I probably could pick it up and then just do the main story points and then complete it. But there's always going to be like that fox that you see in the distance to like chase him to like the thing. And then it's just going to draw me away. And I'm going to be like 70 more hours, like feverishly like trying to find stuff. Like Monica's going to come in. Monica's going to come in and be like, Jeff, you haven't eaten. Like,
just one more hot spring, please. Again, I would say that I don't know if I could fairly say it's one of my favorite games I've ever played, because I was like, I haven't finished it, but I love that game so much. I just can't bring myself to like do the grind anymore with it.
Yeah, I always I think we've had this conversation, like a lot of Sony games that are like this too, where like they're really good. They're highly cinematic, third-person action games, but they, for whatever reason, just have all of these things that you need to collect. And to upgrade the bow, you need to collect bamboo. And to upgrade the sword, you need to collect like whatever else. Like, and I can't just like get money and just buy all the upgrades. Like, you have to find all these things, and so like it's kind of built into it. So it's like, if I want the better sword, I have to find iron or whatever it is every get.
Yeah, and of course every game has to have like 3 currencies now.
Yeah, too much.
Like it is, but like they sell well and they are critically received well.
They're good. Like, they're all good though. Everyone I've played is good.
God of War is great, but could I beat? How far have I gotten Ragnarok? Not very, because I'm like, there's so much here, like, and it's so good. It's such a good game, and I beat the first one. Or the first of the new ones, and
2018.
I can't bring myself to finish Ragnarok, because it's the same thing. I'm like, I don't. These are amazing designed and beautiful locations. I just don't want to scrape for everything they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some point in any real open world game where I just say, I'm just gonna go for it and just complete the story. But
yeah. It's one of my, I think we've talked about this. It's like I said, it's so much of what Sony makes, and they're all amazing. Like everything about them, they play well. The story is great. They're beautiful, but man, I just don't have the time.
I think that's something to really like think about, because it's like, I think over the course of my life, like, that priority has changed. Like, when I was in high school and they were talking about like a new Fallout or a new Elder Scrolls game or something, saying that the game is at least 60 hours, I'm like, oh, it's got to be 60 hours or more before it to be worth my money. And now I'm like, I will give you $5 for a game that I could play for 1 hour.
I don't need to engage with it in any kind of like hide and seek with items. I don't. I just I'll pay you the full price if I can beat this without having to walk the whole map.
Yeah, that's why, like, the indie scene is so good, right? Because you got all these like really tight experiences where like you spend like $15 and the game's like 5 hours long or something, right? And some people are like, oh, that's so much money for a game that's so short. But I'm like, is it though? Like, it's so nice to have a concise, like, like a click. You go through this game, and at the end, it's just tied up, and you don't have to like worry about it. There's not like so many things you got to do. It's just a nice thing. I have come to prefer these games. You know,
right? And I think again, I think a lot of us were in that same boat with like, if I'm going to spend this much money, it needs to be this long. And I think as I've grown older, I'm like, well, first of all, it's a piece of art. Well, however you want to shut it's a piece of art, and like we don't spend more money on movies that are 2 hours or 3 hours long than we do a movie that's 90 minutes, because it's just, you don't do, that's not how you judge art, by how like the value, the monetary value of it. So like I kind of got away from there, and like I said, like there's something to be said about an indie game where I can just get the experience from it, which is what it's all about, is the end experience, like what you take away from it, whether like you had fun, the story touched you in a way, like, so I'm willing to spend whatever is reasonable. I'm not about to spend $100 on an indie game, but that's never going to happen. That's AAA. We might see that in the next few years, but but I think for that, like the value is $15. Even the game takes me an hour to beat, if it hits all these things that I find important.
Yeah. Give me a game made by a single person. Oh. That's the best. It's the best.
I just feel like, I know it's more difficult, right? One person trying, because game development's not easy. I think I was talking about this the other day, where I was like playing some of the Next Fest games, and I was dunking on them, and every time I do, I'm like, I feel so bad, because I'm like, this is like one person made this game, but then I think like one person made a lot of games.
It's true, and
some of them are incredible. So this one game that's on Next Fest that isn't very good. Again, they did something I couldn't do, but that's, I think that doesn't make them above criticism. But having a single person be able to control every aspect of it and get their vision to exactly what they want, there's something to be said about that. To like someone to make their exact vision is so cool.
Yeah, that's why I really like anytime I play the demo for Lucid, because like, man, Eric really nailed it with that. Yeah, he's like, I'm so excited for that game to come out. He's spent basically like 10 years like designing this game. Like the past few years, like I think he said 2020 was about when he like really like leaned into it. But yeah, like everything is like tweaked so well. Like all the animations like are really nice. Everything like feels good when you're playing it. The soundtrack's great. Like I think he did a really good job. And it's crazy like when you see that one guy made that. Yeah. He used to do streams where he did the pixel art, and he would like do all the pixel art, and like it's just like I can't even imagine, like that's so much work.
Watching you play it the other day, like the thing that stands out to me is his environments. There's such a mood and feel about his environments that just it's like when you think of like an old like Genesis or NES game, that's what you think they looked like, and they didn't. They didn't. Like they but he just nailed that vibe. And just like the aesthetic, and I was blown away. I don't know. There's so much about that game that looks great and sounds great, but the back, every time you play it, I'm like staring at the background. I'm like, that is the best looking background I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. And like I had extensive conversations with him about this, like his like style choices. And like I think, you know, I knew from very early on that he totally got it. Like he gets it. Like, yeah. The fact that the character model on the screen is a little bit smaller than you might expect, but that means that you could see so much more going on, and like that makes it so like the animations that are happening are just so much. Like, if they're big animations, they're so much more like grand. You know, everything is just so much bigger.
The scale is there, and I think there's something to be said about that for sure. Yeah, and I love the main character's design with the jacket. Like, It's so good, man. Oh, that's
I
so
remember
good.
a couple of years ago, he had that demo at PAX East, and it was before anyone got to play it. It was like the first time it was playable by anybody, and so I was standing there, like it was a pretty big line, so I was standing there like watching people play, and I finally got to play, and I was like, this feels so good even then. But there was stuff like the animation, like if you stand still, he fixes jacket, and like. And it's like it's like the Sonic thing where like if you stand still with Sonic, he'll tap his toe and be like, "Let's watch." It's like like it's the little attention to detail. Same with like Silk Song. There's these little cog fly things you could like use like little robots that go out and they attack stuff. But if you're not fighting anything, excuse me, if you sit on a bench, they'll like flutter down and they'll like sit on the ground and like take a little nap.
That's
And
so good.
You get a house at some point, and if you like lay down on the bed, like it's just like a bench, like in Hollow Knight. But if you let the character sit there long enough, she'll roll over and like lay down. And if you look at the map, when you look at the map, like the character actually like opens a map and like the map pops up. But if you're laying in the bed and you open the map, she's like laying down and opens the map.
That's like that's a little detail that someone who's again just this is their passion and this is the world they see. That's the kind of detail they're gonna add. That's detail like you can't make someone add that. Like someone's got to think like, oh, this would be really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that do some stuff that I think is really cool where like you're saying, like the developer really thought about in this particular case what people might try. So like I love when there's like special dialogue. Like I was watching a video recently where they had a couple examples. One of them was like in like The Witcher 3, like you have to like take a boat somewhere, but you can swim. And if you swim to the place instead of taking the boat, the NPC that meets you at the other end of the water was like, "Oh, is the water cold or whatever?" Like he talks about like you program that like the character can't think of saying that, you have to program that in. So it's like it's really funny when you see these developers that are like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing like if you roll at this wall 100 times, it'll open a secret door to like a piece of gold or something. Like,
yeah, right. And we're all gonna try it because the wall's a different color, so I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, why do those rocks look different?
The Legend of Zelda taught me that. Oh, that looks different. I'm gonna put a bomb on that. Like,
have you seen the memes where it's like, video games taught me anything? This wall can be exploded, and it's like a brick wall, but then one set of the bricks are like really weird, and it's like it's like in a person shape almost.
Yes, like that's exactly what I mean. Like, I love that. I just love the expansion on that like level design.
Yeah, one of my favorites is the treasure chest behind the waterfall. Like, it's cliche. Like, if there's a waterfall, you're like, oh, there's probably a treasure chest behind there, right? I think it's really funny because if there is one, you're like, oh, treasure chest behind the waterfall. Like, how creative. But if there's a waterfall and there's no chest behind it, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What is this?
Lazy devs. Couldn't you put a treasure chest back there for me?
I forget what game. I think it was Kena Bridge of Spirits. Had a bunch of waterfalls. There were no treasure chests behind them. I'm like, where's my treasure chest?
They ran out of time. Ran out of time. We can't. But all these waterfalls.
So many waterfalls. This game is waterfall the game.
Every one of them has a chest behind it. 100 of waterfalls. There's hundreds of chests.
99 chests. One of those waterfalls doesn't have one behind it.
Amazing. Like even like I play a lot of Hunt Showdown, and there's waterfalls in that have sometimes they'll have like registers behind them. And I love that they did that.
That's great. I love that. Game design is just wonderful. I made a game once, technically. I said this to Eric in the episode where I talked to him, but it was like a vertical shoot 'em up game. It was like a boot camp. And it took me like 10 hours to make this game with the instructions that they gave me, and all the assets were provided and everything. Like, and then gave me like a really good perspective on like how much work it takes to make a game, because that game sucked and it took me 10 hours to make. And it's not that it sucked because it was a bad boot camp. Like, the boot camp was pretty easy to follow, but like it didn't have any functionality. Like, it was real basic. Like, it just gave you like the real basics of how to make this thing. And it's like, if you want anything else, like, you have to spend tons of time figuring out all this stuff. I didn't have a menu or anything, and it's insane. Games are crazy.
Isn't that like one of those things you never realize, like, what it takes to just make a menu in a game? And like,
Yeah.
I appreciate when the menu's really like different. Like, I remember the Killer Instinct, the remake, like the menus made music, and when you went down them, they would like, it'd be like in a tune.
That's cool.
Like, they did a lot with music in that. I just remember the menu would be like, that's so cool that the music meant a lot to like what they did in development. So like, let's make everything musical. I think that was pretty neat.
I know that you stream a lot of horror games. Typically, horror, like October is the month for horror, not March. But because of Resident Evil, I really wanted to have you on. What other games would you say like have been a really big horror impact for you that have come out recently?
Recently, I mean, horror is such a broad genre. Like, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's not scary." Like, I don't think we've talked about this. I've said this constantly. Horror doesn't need to be scary, because something being scary it's like what's scary to me and scary to someone else isn't the same. So it's not fair to put that. So it's more of a theme or an aesthetic. My favorite game that's come out in the last few years has been Dredge. It's like not scary, but it's definitely like eldritch horror. I love that game so much. Like, that is, I did 100% that, like, because I just wanted to. I sometimes think about starting a new save and doing it all over again, because I love that game so much.
I loved watching your streams when you played that, because that was like such a cool game. And yeah, like, it was horror, but like it was a fishing game. Yeah. Like, it's just crazy. Like, that's a great, like, I don't know if I really call it like a genre bend, but it kind of is, where like the game itself is not, it's not like action adventure. It's like, it's almost cozy. Excuse me. It's almost a cozy game, really. Yeah. But it's like the themes where there's
go at night.
There's a farming sim. What's it called coming out?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. That game is actually closer to horror than Dredge is. Like,
is it like Never Way or something? Never
Way. You're talking about the that's actually one of my games I can't wait for this year. That's one of my most anticipated games.
Were you
Never Way?
Were you thinking I meant the Graveyard one?
No, I played that. I can't remember the hell the Graveyard Keeper.
Yeah.
I didn't love that. It was a little too like, you have to do this to do this to do this. It wasn't as open as like, I was hoping more like a horror Stardew Valley, and it wasn't that. No, okay. I was thinking, what is it called? We Harvest Shadows.
Oh, okay.
Is the one I was thinking of, which is actually it's a first person farming sim, and that game is actually like, stuff goes down. Like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of spooky. But yeah, Neverway. It looks cool, and the thing that really made me say, "Oh man, I need to play this," is the music. The music is by Disaster Piece, who did the music for Fez and Hyper Light Drifter, and It Follows. And I love his stuff. It's actually so cool. There's another game that was coming out this year that I saw the trailer for, and it literally looks like a first-person version of Dredge.
Interesting. I tried to look some stuff up, but yeah, like I was saying before we started recording, that that update on my Mac has made everything real janky. I opened up a tab and searched Neverway, and I started getting encoder errors in OBS for this. So there's going to be a moment on this recording where it's going to be a little weird. So I apologize for anyone who's out there watching and or listening. That it's going to be some weird bits for like 30 seconds to a minute or two.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? It's hard to not have that happen. It's called Dreadmore.
Dreadmore, okay.
Literally looks like a first-person Dredge, but you're in a swamp. And so this I go, well, I'm buying this.
Yeah, the other one, Neverway, looked really cool too. It was like the color palette choice was just perfect. Like it just
it's like the blues and the purples.
Creates this vibe. It's like creepy. And then the game itself like has some real creepy moments like in the trailers. But like it's all about like getting to know your neighbors and like farming and all that sort of stuff. And it's like and you're doing it all for a demon god. Like it's like, oh my god.
The artist is the Celeste artist. That's
right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
They got some heavy hitters to work on that game, which it looks so cool. I don't know if they've released I think it's sometime this year, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah, I'd try to look, but
yeah. I just had I was just looking because I wanted to see what what the game looked like. Yeah, it just says 2026.
Okay.
Which
I think it would probably make sense to release something like that closer to the fall.
Yeah.
That's like around the season.
I feel like those not just horror games, but like farming sims, they always have like a harvest vibe to them. So like that would make sense.
That's true too.
Yeah, this looks so cool. Oh my god. Oh, it's going to come out on Linux?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
That's just what the internet said. If no Linux users, if I'm incorrect about that.
Oh no, you're gonna disappoint a lot of Linux players. I feel like a lot of Linux players are actually there's plenty of people who have a Linux desktop that's not like SteamOS or something that are playing games that are playing the native Linux games, and I want more games to be available for them. But I think what Valve is doing with SteamOS and like Proton and all that, I think it's great. I think that also helps those players as well. And it's wild to see it's never when the Steam Deck came out, the amount of games that worked with it, where it was like a lot, but like not, now it's like in the 90% something, like,
which is amazing.
Crazy.
We grew up where like handhelds weren't playing anything. Like you had their very specific games, but then you had like, remember the Sega Nomad?
Yeah.
It was like the handheld Genesis, and the thing was awful.
Yeah.
Awful. Like, and every time I think of like playing anything that's more than like a DS game, well, even then, that's funny because even the DS, because I had a 3DS, and you could play a better looking version of Ocarina of Time on it than what was on the 64.
Mm-hmm.
Which, another thing about that's actually kind of mind blowing that we got Ocarina of Time on a handheld.
It's the progression of PC hardware and like all these things. Like you look at a Switch 2, man, Switch 2 is playing Cyberpunk on it.
Yeah.
And CD Projekt Red are like, that's the definitive version now. Like the Switch 2 version.
Amazing.
Which is crazy because you can get 40 frames per second on a Switch 2 I think in handheld. I think it's got to be like 720 or something, but still like
that's still incredible considering where the Switch was. I love the Switch, but like it was never gonna. It was always a joke, like what it could play for ports and stuff, and the fact that the Switch 2 is like, oh, it can play just about anything is good. Good on Nintendo.
Yeah, like you were saying, like, but in the past, there was the console game, and then there was like the mobile, like the The handheld version of that game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, is like one of those where like you have the PS2 version and then there's like the Game Boy Color version, which is like they're not the same at all.
They're not even ports. They're actually like a totally separate developed game.
Yeah,
because like, you could not port that.
I think they might actually have been Game Boy Advance, but yeah, like it was just like a isometric top-down game. It was a completely different game. But now you got like parity, you got 1-to-1.
Yeah,
and
especially
even
the Steam Deck is really like shattered my perceptions of like what you can do handheld. Like weren't we playing Monster Hunter online and you're using the Steam Deck, right? That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh
that's actually crazy.
I was afraid it was gonna not work at all. But yeah, actually, it was one of the reasons I was like, I really do want to try online is because I logged on the Xbox so that I could figure out all the people I was friends with and get their hunter codes and stuff, so I could send them friend requests, join the squads I was in, do all that stuff. And I actually had to join. I had to be online, but I didn't think that you could be on online single player and do it. I wasn't thinking that. I just joined a lobby, and I was in the Grand Hub with like 20 other hunters running around, and I'm like, oh, this is not having an issue. Like, it didn't slow down. Like, all right, but then we played. I mean, we got absolutely wrecked, but
yeah. But that's also like I was impressed that it ran because the new Ujo fight is so graphically intensive. Like
with all the flames and like all the tentacles and stuff.
Yeah, but it's funny. The one thing that always, not anymore, but like you said earlier, for some reason, that one spot in the plains just tanks my FPS for no reason. For no reason, like where the oil well basin with all the fire and oil and all this moving stuff doesn't move the needle. But man, if I go into that plains on a sunny day, it's like about 50 frames a second instead of 100. Like
by that tree, it's like there's that one tree.
Exactly.
It's like there's plenty of areas in the plains where like they're kind of not great, but then there's that one tree where it's like you get like 10 frames per second.
Yeah,
you could literally have like the world's most powerful supercomputer processing this game, and it would dump to 10 frames per second for some reason in that spot.
I can fight Ray Dow in its nest with all the lightning and electricity everywhere, but man, if I step foot near that tree in broad daylight, I might crash. I might crash.
Yeah, I've had it where like it was like a frame a second, I swear, like where like I set the trap and like Ray Dow was like you'd walk over to it and like it'd literally be like not in the trap and then in the trap. Like it wasn't even like an animation. He was just like teleported into the trap.
Amazing.
But it's funny because it's like for some reason like some of the stuff, like the frame rate dips in general, but some of the stuff more than others. To where like my character seemed okay, like a little janky, but like I could still move around just fine. But like some of the monsters were moving around like real weird, but like it scaled it in a weird way, so it was still like I could still play it. It was a really strange experience, but yeah, I love Monster Hunter.
Oh, me too. I could talk about Monster Hunter all day.
I've been playing it a lot, man. I played it. I've already played it more hours on the Steam Deck than I ever did on the Xbox.
Amazing. I love that. I think I started picking it up again because you've been playing it, which made me think, well, I should get back into it. And now that the last title update came out, like this is Monster Hunter Wilds base game in its full.
Yeah.
This is it. Like until expansion, this is the game. So like I think that makes you like, all right, so I know the direction to grind in now instead of being like, well, what's gonna be good? Like, and the end game grind it's difficult. And I was just saying the other day, like, I'm excited, but also like, oh no, what is the expansion gonna be like? Because it's gonna kick our asses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm having a rough time. I also set upon the goal to get every single armor. I said that to my buddy Francois because we'll be playing at some point later. But I was like, yeah, I have my quest is to craft every armor in the game, and he's like, that's a lot. It's just like that's so much.
Were you gonna do all the low rank?
I did all the low rank.
Oh, you did all the. You already did a whole low rank. So
Yeah.
I can't remember the layered armor. Does it have to be the high rank version to get the layer? All right, so you're gonna have all the layered armor then. That's pretty cool.
That's my goal. I mean, the only low rank one I don't have, I also don't have the high rank one, is the one where we have to catch that giant fish. I forget what it's called. It starts with a G. But
oh yeah,
you gotta catch that fish to get like the piece for it. And as much as I love fishing mini games, like the fishing in Monster Hunter is weird. Like catching small fish, fine, but when you go to catch the big fish, you gotta do all that pomp and circumstance.
yeah,
Yeah, like moving the stick around and like doing all that stuff. It's just like it's a pain.
It took me a long time, and eventually it clicked, and I was pretty good at it, but like it's not fun. Like it's one of my least favorite fishing mini games.
Yeah, it's tough because like Monster Hunter has this thing where stuff's only around at certain times of day and in certain weather and stuff. And if you mess up the catch more than like a couple times, that fish will just go away.
Yeah.
And you have to find your way back to that spot and that time, and that you could rest and stuff, but that takes points and all that. It's just
to do it, I had a camp next to that small like lake or pond in the forest. And I'd go it and I'd fish out the whole pond until there's nothing left, and then I'd go and rest and then go back. Like that's what I just did it over and over again to get like do the quest. And it again, that is not very fun. Like it's, and I think it's difficult. It's just tedious. And I really wish they would do something different with the fishing, because like
there's stuff they have done that has made a lot of the other things less tedious. And it's something that's kind of funny because there's people who are I guess Monster Hunter purists, I guess you could call it, where they liked those things. Like I like riding by and seeing an herb and then shooting the thing out and grabbing the herb and then just keep going. But they're like, oh, no, I really liked it when you had to walk up to the herb, do an animation for 10 seconds, and then go, I got an herb.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now I can hit X or whatever and like go to the next thing. And it's like, do it again. It's like, remember we used to like farm iron ore and stuff, or like other ores. And you'd have to like start a quest, go to the spot, break all your pickaxes, and then either complete the quest or try to quit out in a way where it still gave you the stuff.
Yep.
And you do that over and over again. Now, like, the stuff regenerates, I think.
Yeah. Pretty quick, actually. You could go into one match, farm out the whole thing, and by the time you're done with the last, like, say, ore, the first one would have been replenished.
I need a lot of, I think it's called Gracium. I you know, the whole desire sensor thing. I made this joke to you before. Where like, you know, if anyone out there who does not know what this desire sensor is, if you haven't played Monster Hunter, but there's a joke that like the game knows what you want for like the parts, and it knows to not give that to you.
Yeah.
So like, I've wishlisted everything. Everything has been wishlisted. The game cannot know what I want because I want all of it. And so it can't not give me all of it. It has to give me something. But I if you check the wish list and you see like how much of each thing you need, I need like 77.
Oh my god.
And it's one of those that like barely ever comes up. Like you barely ever get it. And so like it's in I think the Ice Shard Cliffs, and I have to I have to go in there, and it's only a couple of them. It's not all of the ore deposits. It's like 2 or 3 of them. So you got to go in and mine them and then leave and come back.
Yep.
They got to do it over and over again. And I do it like 2 or 3 times. I maybe get 3. And
yeah, that's you need 70 of them. Almost 80 of them. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's crazy. And it knows, man. The game knows, because I was trying to get a gem yesterday, and I ran. It was like an Arkfeld gem from the regular Arkfeld. It wasn't like the Arch Tempered. I ran the quest 3 times, and I didn't get a single gem. I only needed one. So I'm like, all right, what if I find like a SOS flare that someone has that guarantees a gem? And I was like, hell yeah, that someone had it. So of course we finished the quest, and I get 2. I'm like, come on, like. It did to me early or later on with the gems for Gormagala, where I kept running the quest, and then I was like, "Oh, a guaranteed one," and I get 2. I'm like, it's like it's messing with me. I swear to God.
I'm having a problem with the wyvern, just the basic wyvern gems, and it's like I'm like, all right, so I just gotta fight Chemitrice, right? Just gotta fight the Firebird, and I fight a bunch of them, and I maybe get 1. And I did that quest. Where you fight, I think it's like 4 of them and a Mizitsune. None.
Fox in the hen house.
None.
Quest.
I got none.
None.
0.
And they're tempered, so I think they should have a better drop rate.
Yeah,
I think that's how it worked. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Terrible. That fight sucked.
Yeah, that was I let them beat each other a lot in that one and watch. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
The one thing that's good, I might be wrong about this. I think you're guaranteed a gold crown, though. I think one's going to be the biggest and one's going to be the smallest.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of nice if you're for crown hunting, you're guaranteed crowns on that. But like that's like the least important thing when you're trying to get materials. My problem right now is I need the certificates, which you get from beating monsters, and I need them for all the arch tempered apexes. And man, that I need 9 new Udra ones. Like, I don't want to do this quest 9 times.
Jeez, and we didn't even do the one you're talking about either. We did the 9-star one when we played recently, right?
That's the one. That's the Arch Temper. Okay. Yeah, and you saw how it goes. Like, yeah. And I tried it with last night. I was playing with Odd, and I tried it with the gun lance, and the thing where it spits the oil and then blows it up is not blockable. I've learned.
Is it blockable for any of the lower ones? Or is it
I don't think it does it. I think that's exclusive to Arch Tempered. I think you might need a special skill to block it, because I did not block it.
That's Monster Hunter's crazy. I love Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
me too. As frustrating as it is. I keep going back to it.
The crazy thing with Wilds is Wilds was so easy when it came out. It's so easy. And then suddenly they're like, oh, yeah, you guys thought this was too easy. And then there's like, watch this. And every monster is like difficult as hell now.
I blame game journalists. And listen, I'm sorry, game journalists, but you're the ones who said this game was really easy. I beat it very quickly. And all you did was roll credits on the
low rank.
on the low rank.
Yeah.
And you brought forth this onto us.
Gogmazios, who hits you with a laser that could kill you when it hits you, lights you on fire, then explodes.
I
don't think it really does that, but it might as well.
I haven't even done that fight yet. I haven't. I got the quest for it. I haven't.
I got close to beating it. Last night before, I had him on Skull, and I ended up carding because literally I was running. I met the secret to like move around, and he shot a laser, and I couldn't dodge it because I was on the secret, and it carded me for the last card. I'm like, damn this game. So I'll come back to Gogmazios later when I have better gear.
It's crazy to think Monster Hunter's been around for this long.
We played it in high school.
We did. We played it in high school. That's what makes me feel really old, because
seriously,
because high school was 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago.
I remember falling asleep in my chair playing it online with you. Was it the PS2?
PS2, man. PS2. That's crazy.
Man.
It's crazy that it really at the time, like I don't even know if PlayStation Network or anything like that existed. It was just like one of the. It was like, oh, like they just had. Like you could just at one point they were like, oh, you can plug a Ethernet cable into the PS2.
Yep.
And then they were just like, some games were like, okay, we could play online, I guess. And it was like one of those first games.
Yeah.
I loved playing that online. But you had to like plug in a USB keyboard and type because there was no real like chat.
I had a USB keyboard for it too.
You got a keyboard in your lap, you get the controller, and you're like,
oh man, that is so funny. I forgot about that. Do you remember the little keyboard they had for the Xbox controller?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one of those too.
Hold on. I've had one for every single one.
Oh, no way.
I have it out of my Series X controller. I've had the Xbox keyboard for every single version of the Xbox that I've owned.
I think it's necessary because trying to hunt for letters, you're trying to type something in, ridiculous.
Yeah, it's easier. It sucks that like they've stopped making that. That one was actually for the Xbox One, and they stopped making it. I think people are in voice chats now. They don't really use the keyboard and
not like it used to be.
And
I got a new controller.
And then you got like on-screen keyboards and stuff, so people don't. I still think I still really like having the keyboard because if I'm playing a game where I need to type a name of a character in, it's just easy just to type it in. I don't want to
I agree. I hate having to like, especially on the PlayStation, the sticks are so weird and it's like, or not just the PlayStation. I shouldn't say blame on the PlayStation, but a lot of games that have like they want you to use like an in-game cursor. And I'm like, and it's so floaty. I'm like, I don't want this. Just let me type this in.
That's like playing anything on the Steam Deck. If I touch the touchpads, the game immediately switches to like keyboard and mouse mode for a moment, and it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? The cursor comes up and like all the buttons change, the keys. I'm like, okay, what's happening? What do I do?
That's still nice you can do that, but yeah, I imagine that moment where you're trying to do something that's not with the keyboard and mouse mode. It's kind of a confusing.
Yeah, it's like I know like some games like Stardew Valley, it's designed around keyboard and mouse, right? So like you have a cursor and you use the keyboard to move yourself around and stuff. But like playing Stardew Valley on like Switch is so weird because the cursor still exists, but you don't ever really need it. But if you touch the right stick, like the cursor pops up and it like stays on the screen, and it's like, please get away. I always have to like move it to the corner and like hope it disappears.
I never. That's see. I guess that's where like I think that's where having a dedicated port for handheld is probably ideal. But why? Because you don't need the mouse,
right? Luckily, it's like the controls function well enough, at least in Stardew Valley, and plenty of other games where like you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, if you accidentally touch anything, like it's like Monster Hunter 2, like you can have a cursor and stuff. Like it's a PC game, so I touched the thing by mistake, and it will put the cursor on the screen, and I'm like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. But if you touch any of the actual controls, otherwise, like it'll automatically like cut it over.
Yeah, because like I play Monster Hunter on controller. Like I just don't think third person is great on keyboard and mouse. But like sometimes like I'll actually bump the mouse, or Freddy will, because he's on the desk all the time, and suddenly I'll see like all the keys pop up. I'm like, what is this? And I have to like click, and I've got like an Amazon controller that is not great. So like I have to like unplug it and plug it back in, and I was just saying I gotta get a new controller because like these are like cheap, and which is nice for not spending money, but like it's not. It causes so many problems now because it's just so cheap.
I really want them to release that Steam controller, man. I think they could release the Steam controller first and like worry about the rest of it after. There's like tons of people that are like, I don't want the Steam Deck, I don't want the VR frame headset, I just want the controller.
Yeah, I'd buy the controller day one.
If it's like the Steam, I mean, it looks like it's going to be like the Steam Deck, but maybe a little bit better ergonomics. It's I want
is it wireless?
yeah. Yeah, it's wireless, but I think it's Bluetooth and has like a dedicated 2.4 gigahertz like connection. So in the Steam machine, there's like a radio for that. So it's like
That's cool.
it's like Xbox's proprietary one where it's like super low latency. It's like that, but it comes with this little like the like charger thing, and that's the receiver. So you plug that into the USB in your computer, and then you could slap it. It's like a magnetic charger for the controller, and it's also the receiver for that signal, so you could play low latency.
That's cool. Like I prefer wired, but that sounds like it's convenient enough and it's like functional enough that I'd consider going wireless for that.
Yeah, you could plug it in though. You could plug it in the USB port on the top. Just plug it right.
Oh, it's got the plug and everything.
It's got a USB-C port right on top. So yeah, you could just plug it into with a regular cable.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
So it gives you have like a bunch of different options, which is really cool. And it, I remember people like were knocking on it for it looking weird. It does look weird. It's a real weird looking controller, but I think it's cool. I want it.
Is it? I didn't remember it looking that weird though. Hold on.
It's weird because like a lot of controllers have like.
Oh yeah, it is weird looking.
Yeah, a lot of controllers have this like boomerang shape, you know, like where you like get the handles and then it comes around like this. The Steam controller is like it's full like it's almost like it's like a solid front and like there's grips in the back, but it's because you have to have those touchpads. You have to have that space for those.
Yeah, right. Well, that makes sense especially for like the Steam machine where you're going to need to have that functionality. That's required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also there's when I've played a lot of games on the Steam Deck using my Xbox controller or my Switch controller, the Pro controller. And there's like buttons on the Steam Deck that don't exist on controllers. Like there's there's like the Steam button, which is kind of like the Xbox button, so like the home button and stuff that all does that for that, but there's like an extra button on the side that gives like a different menu for like Steam OS, and you can't get into that. So if I'm looking for something specific and I'm using the controller, I have to go I have to like go to a different means to get to that menu. So it's kind of annoying. Or like if I want to just go right to the library, I can't pull up the menu. The menu pulls up and I can just go down and hit library and goes right to my library of games. But if I'm using my Xbox controller, I have to scroll all the way to the right on my list of games on like the main screen and go to the library at the end. So it's like I'm hitting like
that is a pain.
And it shows a bunch of games. It shows like 5 or 6 games or something, or even more than that. So I'm like scrolling past all these games. I know it seems like a real weird thing to complain about, but it's just like it matches up with all of the things that are on the menu for SteamOS. So it's
which again, having a dedicated controller for it makes sense.
Yeah, I said on Blue Sky, I'm getting really I'm really itching to hear more about this Steam machine. I really want to buy one. I know it's probably gonna be expensive, whatever. But I'm like, man, if they don't say anything until at the end of March, I'm just gonna like go on eBay and throw together like the jankiest PC build that anyone's ever seen. It's gonna be like an HP like office desktop that I'm gonna like slap a GPU in or something.
It's just like an old tower with a
They have there's a model of HP like desktop computer. It's like an office model, but it's got an AMD. I want to say it was like a 5700G or something, and that has onboard graphics. Like it's an APU. So if I buy just that, so it's like a $300 computer off eBay that has all the stuff in it I would need and to play any like basic games, and I would just slap a GPU in it to play like Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is probably the most performant game that I will be playing. So
yeah, but at least you know like what to like benchmark around, like And I guess like now that it's over a year old, I mean, it is technically
Yeah.
that it wouldn't be that hard to build something that could play it, especially after they fix the performance.
It just has to be marginally better than a Steam Deck.
Yeah, marginally. But who knows what the price of parts are going to be now, though.
Yeah, that's tough. My thought was that they would have built a bunch of these ahead of time. And like when they announced it in November, they had like a working model. It wasn't like a concept or like a what's the word? My brain stopped working there for a second.
Like a prototype?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. It's not like it wasn't like a prototype. It was like they had built one. They had one that was built in the factory. Like it was like ready to go. It was like a retail unit. That's what they were showing off to people. So like they have them.
They must have a bunch made then.
Yeah, they have a bunch, but like I think the problem is they want to price it in a way where it doesn't screw them over later. Like
right,
because they keep going up.
When they decided to go for this, they'd already ordered the RAM and stuff that they needed. They already had. There's no way they didn't. Like you just wouldn't do that.
Right.
And I just wonder if
parts.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I feel like exactly you said, they're trying to balance between not losing money later, but also being able to get it in people's hands because a lot of people have a hard limit at. I've been hearing a lot of people say like $700-800 is their limit. Some people go over 1,000, but I don't know that that's the regular consumer. That's kind of this. That's people who already probably have a computer and just want a computer in their living room.
Yeah, I've said the demographic in my mind, the demographic for a Steam machine, there's like basically like two kinds of people. It's people who are PC gamers that want a gaming PC to go under their TV in the living room, but they already have a gaming PC. They don't need the power or to spend $1,000 on a gaming PC. They have one. Or people who are console gamers that want an entry point into PC gaming because of whatever reason. So if you market $900 or $1,000, both of those demographics are going to they're going to go out the door. They're not buying anything. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's the thing. Like $1,000, like who is it for then? At $1,000, like it needs to be the console game you're trying to swing into PC. Like, and $1,000 is not that's not touching them. Is it the person wants a second computer? I already spent $3,000 on mine. I'm not spending another $1,000 to have a lesser, like a not as good computer in my living room. Like they need to be. I can't imagine they didn't think about this. I guess that's where I'm. But the fact they haven't set a price yet really concerns me because I wonder if it's pushed back. They're like, uh-oh.
There's been some updates in the background. They haven't officially really said much. They made a blog post recently where they said basically like originally that it was early 2026. And in this blog post, they said like the goal is still first half of the year this year. And then on SteamDB, there was some update on the back end for Steam's like, database, whatever. Changed the date of all three things from like no date set to coming soon. And so people are like, oh, that could mean something. But then like they made some other change to the hardware page where it says we're hoping to release in 2026. And so that's kind of like people are like, okay. So is it coming soon or is it coming next year? Because like those are not the same.
No, that's not the
same thing.
I don't even know. I just don't. I'm so confused about the way they announced it. So because it's been months now, and like announcing like a whole new lineup of stuff, and then being like, "But we don't know when it's coming out." That's a weird move. Like to be like it's coming out eventually to 2026 to honestly, when it's done, it's done. Like, I wonder if they're just trying to gauge interest Like I said, they had a retail model. Like, why would you go that far?
They had like a built model, like it. So like, I think the way I see it is they started this project. They did all the R&D. They started building these things. They have a bunch of them already built, ready to go, and then in November they're like, we're ready to show you this thing that we've created, and then literally weeks later, Nvidia's like, GPUs are going to cost like 5 times more now because we're going to sell all of them to AI, and they're like,
yeah.
Shit. Like,
I wonder if I can't imagine they're waiting for like the AI bubble to burst. Like,
that's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while. It's gonna happen. Like, I guarantee it's going to happen, but it could be years.
Yeah. I think the only thing that's really holding them back is the RAM, because the GPUs they're using aren't new. They're not anything that an AI the data center is going to want to use.
It's not like the crypto. Remember crypto was using all the GPUs? That was crazy.
Yeah, people were just buying whatever they could and slapping them in a device.
Everyone had 1080s.
Yeah.
Everyone, they were still going. Like, and the RAM, though, I think the problem with like the RAM prices is when I first got into PC gaming a billion years ago, RAM was expensive. And then suddenly when I got back into it, I couldn't believe how cheap RAM was. And now RAM is so expensive again, like probably more than it was like in early 2000s for what you were getting. And it's because of all the data centers and stuff, which I could get into that, but that's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's tough because like, we got like companies like Micron that made a lot of the retail memory that you would buy. They've pivoted to only selling to AI data centers, so like a lot of that stuff's just not even available now. It's just, you can't even get it.
That hurts. That hurts bad. Like, because then it's not even just scarce. Like it's non-existent.
They know they can get 4 or 5 times as much money out of that.
Guaranteed. It's guaranteed.
AI or something.
Yeah, because they're gonna order so much of it. It's guaranteed. Why would I get it? Like, if your idea is to make money, why would you not go with the guaranteed, like the sure bet with what's gonna make you money, even if it's only now, even if it's only in the near future, it's gonna make you money. So I guess from that perspective I get it. I just wish they would not.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see, I guess. I mean, that's how it goes these days with everything that's going on. But we're about at our hour, so I think probably time to say goodbye to our friends out there listening and watching and subscribing to the channel and checking out IsItTheSh0es on Twitch. I believe, are you still also posting stuff on YouTube, like clips and stuff?
I'm actually going to be starting soon.
Okay.
With actual like YouTube stuff. It's going to be probably non-gaming.
Okay. Yeah. I remember you saying about that.
That's what I was saying the other day. I don't remember if I DM'd you. I remember if I messaged you. I was saying like I was looking at picking up a tripod and actual lights for that reason. That's why when you talk about the little tripod you have for your phone. That's why I was like, I'm interested in a review because like I'm looking at buying a tripod.
I'm gonna make a video of all the stuff I'm bringing to PAX East, so that's gonna be in that. I'll talk about that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get into more like in general horror media instead of there'll still be gaming stuff. I really want to talk about horror movies and horror lit, because that's actually kind of the stuff I consume more than games.
I found that horror literature is something I really like, and I'm not really into horror stuff like at all, but I've really liked some of the stuff I've read, and it's like, I think it may be just because for me I can separate myself from the visualization of it when I'm reading it, not like when I'm watching it or playing it. But yeah, I think that's gonna be great. I think everyone out there gotta Check out IsItTheSh0es on Twitch and on YouTube. Check out my channel, Podtroidvania. Subscribe to the podcast. Comes out every month. I'm going to have it released on the 15th of every month. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope everyone has an awesome day.
Bye.
See ya.